Hey, what's up, guys? This is Brian Barrera, CEO for LC Innovation here. Today, I want to go over sales with you guys. That's what I'm going to go over today. And I want to go over sales right now, especially because I know there's a lot of uncertainty going on in the market out there. But I just want to assure you that if you do follow this, and you probably already do, so maybe if you revisit this, you will find some more sales. It's gonna work. I've seen it done in the field. I've done this with my clients. Um, 9 times out of 10, when you talk to somebody about their sales revenue, about their customer retention management system, their ERP system, I'd say 9 times out of 10, especially small businesses, sometimes even medium-sized businesses, have it all in their head. They have it all in their head. They haven't documented it. They haven't got a CRM system, ERP system, whatever the case. They haven't done that. They haven't gone over that. And it's scary. It is scary because you want to know who your top five performing clients are. You want to find out who your top five most profitable clients are. You want to find out who has grown the most within your organization in the last year, maybe the last 2 years, right? You want to find out what they're doing out in the market. Are they merging or acquiring companies to further put a stronghold in their market share? What are they doing out there in the field? What's your sales team doing out there in the field? Who's your sales team going after? Do you have some sales reps out there that only pay attention to the clients that they bring in? Right? Have you asked around and have you found out that those customers that they're bringing in have followed them from place to place? Meaning they're very good at their job. However, are they the best fit for your organization? Right? And are those clients that they're bringing in, is their profitability 5 to 10%, which is really, really hurting you because you then have to pay that commission to that sales rep that brought them in. And I know that still happens out there also too. Or are they bringing in huge clients with low sales but high profitability? Right? There's all these analytics that you have to do. And I know a lot of you are going to think, oh, I don't have time for that. I don't have time for that. You do have time for that. Or you have to make time for that. You have to know who your clients are inside and out. Right. And let me explain why this is so huge. Let me explain why I use this so much, why I created this. I created this while I was at the President's Key Executives program at Grazia Deal Business School. I created this there, and it was in Dr. Jim Salas's class for sales and marketing. Dr. Jim Salas is probably the greatest teacher you're ever going to meet when it comes to professor you're going to meet when it comes to sales and marketing. He's absolutely incredible. He's a genius. He's a huge mentor to me and a great friend. But yeah, that's exactly what we're looking at here. I created this at his class while I was in his class, and it was just to understand our clients a lot more. It was to understand where we stood for them. On the x-axis right here, there is sales revenue, and on the bottom y-axis, there is profitability. So I created this, and then one day we're in class, and there's 15 of us. The entire room had a whiteboard. It was a room long whiteboard, like it had every wall had a whiteboard on there, right? So there's 15 of us. Dr. Salas says, hey, each one of you grab a piece of whiteboard and start writing down your sales and marketing strategy. Now there's some heavy hitters there, man. I mean, there's some top dogs in there, some very wealthy people, some very successful business owners that were in there, incredibly smart individuals. They wrote down clean, concise, very, very smart, simple strategies. I'm there writing everything down, right? I even drew this graph on there. So I wrote down how I was going to get new clients, how I was going to get to new markets. And this was when we were in medical devices and medical device components. So I also wrote down how 13 out of our clients were top 100 medical device manufacturers. And I wrote down how 5 of them were, I believe, were Fortune 100 companies. So, and I also wrote down how I had talked to them because I got pretty cool. I got pretty close with their sourcing departments, their procurement departments. I got pretty cool with them. And because I had asked questions like, how much more can we get? Like, is there any new sales out there that we can quote? And they had sent me some documents. They had sent me some documents that showed that they were doing like over like a billion or hundreds of millions of dollars in outsourcing products. I was just amazed. I was really, really amazed. Like that I had no idea that they were outsourcing that much money worth of product, right? Um, and yeah, some of my clients now, we do the same thing. We talk to them, we talk to the customers, and we ask them like for quarterly business reviews. We ask them for technical assessments. We ask them for all, and they willingly give it. I mean, that's why these departments are made for. They're made to strengthen their relationships. They're made to boost the efficiency in the supply chain, how to bring down the cost of the supply chain, right? how to. I mean, that's what they're built to do. It's genius. It really is. They're there to cut prices or increase sales and just cut deals. I'll explain a little bit what I mean in a little bit, but the whole point of those departments is to work with the suppliers. That's the point, and that's what I started doing. I started realizing that most people would not be asking tough questions because they're scared they're going to lose a client. I asked tough questions because, or we were asking tough questions because we wanted to become a preferred supplier, not an approved supplier, not a certified supplier. We wanted to become that supplier that they went to for more work, a preferred supplier. That's what we wanted to be. So he looks at this and he looks at it for like not even a minute. And he looks, Brian, do you know what the problem is with this? And somebody laughed and said, what the hell is that, right? Like, what did he draw on the board? Everybody was laughing. And he goes, Brian, do you know what the problem is with this? I said, no. He goes, the problem is that, first of all, it's very good. But the problem is that you're not going after the 40-60% profitability people. You're not. So yeah, you're getting super high sales revenue with the people on the x-axis right there. You're getting a lot of sales revenue, 10 to 20% profitability. And tell me about your process. Is it easy? Is it difficult? I said, no, there's only a few companies that can do what we do, right? We're a very niche market. We run very, very tough products. And it's just we need our top engineers. We need their top engineers to work with us. There's a lot of built-in scrap, 3 to 5%. There's just a lot of things out there that we need to do, that we needed to take under accountability and under account in order to really gain that 10 to 20% profitability. But in actuality, we're getting a lot less than that because these products are very difficult to run. And if you make any mistake beyond what you've already quoted to have mistakes on or the errors on, it's going to be eating up that profitability. But that wasn't the key. The key was, he said, why are the circles so big on the 40 to 60% profitability? Is it because profitability? I said, no, that's the market share. Market share. I said, yeah. He goes, they're a lot bigger, and some of these big dogs are buying the ones on the left, like they're actually acquiring them. And he said, Brian, you're doing a whole market analysis. You're doing a customer analysis, and I called it a customer portfolio. But that's what you have to do. So, sorry, before I jump into that, he told me flat out, he goes, Brian, so you're telling me that you're already certified, you already have the engineers, you're already an approved supplier, you want to become a preferred supplier, but you're already an approved supplier, and they're outsourcing hundreds of millions of dollars, sometimes even $1 billion worth of the product that you manufacture a year, and you're already approved with them. I said, yes. He said, Brian, I don't think you should be going after new markets or new clients. You should be going after them. Because if you're only doing $2 million of sales revenue for $1 billion, what's that percentage, right? It's well below one. So if you are making this product for them, you're approved, and there's a lot more that you can do. You need to start going after them left and right. That's what I would do. And if they're acquiring the small companies on the left with the high sales revenue, low profitability, that tells me that they have a lot of money to play with. You need to start working with them. And then that's what we came up with, a joint idea of we needed to become an extension of them. So what did we start doing from there? We started working and accepting invitations to come visit our facility, to do gamble walks, technical assessments, whatever the case may be. Whatever they wanted to do, we entertained it. But we started to actually negotiate, right? Because we knew that they were asking for, that all these clients were asking for 3 to 5% price decreases annually, year over year. If our profitability is already at 10, 20%, and then our profitability with the big dogs down there at the bottom right are 40 to 60%, who are we going to give the decreases to? More than likely the 40, 60% profitability, right? But we know that those big clients have a lot more sales revenue and have a lot more outsourcing products out there, a lot more money in outsourcing out there, just in different companies. Now we know too, what I figured out was their market share. Their market share was huge because I started to figure out what industries they were getting into. So I wanted to get into more industries. I wanted to get new clients. I didn't have to do that. I would start focusing on the clients with the large market share, with a lot of outsourcing products. And I would start paying attention to who of them was going after new markets, because that then would tell me that they were going to be in the game for a long time, and they were paying attention to external forces that was allowing them to go into different industries and become major players there. So by me following them, that allowed us to start getting into different markets as well. We became a true extension of our clients. but we had to study them. We had to create this portfolio for them. We had to create a business strategy to follow them and to pull all of our resources from where there was high revenue to low revenue but high profitability. I mean, could you imagine going to your boss and saying, "Hey, boss, hey, Mr. Manager, hey, Mr. Director, hey, owner, whatever the case, we're making $20 million in sales revenue, but 18 million of that we're not going to go after more with them. We're going to start paying attention to the 2 million in sales revenue." If you're an owner, could you imagine how you're going to feel? If you're an executive, could you imagine how you're going to feel if your salesperson, your VP, tells you that we're going to stop going after the 18 million and we're going to start going after the 20? Now, I know you're probably thinking, "Oh, he's just doing a Pareto chart in his head." I am, but we'll go over a Pareto chart in a different video, which is a powerful, powerful chart, by the way, a powerful framework. But could you imagine if someone went up to you and said that we're not going to treat the $18 million as our preferred clients anymore? We're not going to treat them like VIPs. We're going to treat these $2 million before you to 60% profitability as our VIPs. You better have a plan in place to go after them. You better have a plan in place. You better have your numbers to back you up. But that's what happened, and we started noticing that the high profitability were gobbling up the low profitability guys. And we started noticing as well is as they were gobbling them up, we were realizing that they were also building a strategic satellite system or a strategic satellite company, a strategic umbrella for satellite companies, sister companies, maquiladoras, whatever you want to call it. That's what they were doing. They were strategically buying their competitors or their lower end competitors so they can have a footprint in Mexico and Canada and South America and China, wherever the case. But that's a customer portfolio. It's asking them for information, asking them for quarterly business reviews, asking them for technical assessments, asking them to come audit you, asking them to come talk to you, right? Asking them to use you as a case study, right? Really working on trying to get them that price decrease. And what started to happen, now I'm getting the price decrease. What started to happen was after a couple years of doing this, or even after a year of doing this, even after a few months of doing this, we started to negotiate more. They started to ask for price decrease. We said, "Okay, we'll give us $5 more million in sales. Give us $5 million in sales plus our 2 million, that's $7 million, and we'll give you a 3% price decrease across the board. So you're saving a lot more money." They flew us out to their headquarters, whether it was in Minneapolis, whether it was in Boston, whether it was in England. They flew us out, and we started making those kinds of deals. It was insane the way it happened, but it was totally right. So in retrospect, if we went with the original concept of going after new markets and new clients, it would have been low profitability and it would have taken us years to get audited, years to get certified, and years to do validations of that product. It would have taken us a long time, but we went with plan B, right? Which going after existing clients where we started landing $1 million deals a year to 2 years from where we started. Think about that for a second. Going after our existing clients, we got massive sales revenue, more profitability, but with the original plan, it would have been probably more revenue, but a lot more scrap, a lot more inefficiencies, and a lot more struggle. But we got a lot more done when we did that market demographics, when we did that customer portfolio, when we started to understand that they were diversifying their portfolio. And that would in turn, because we were a mirror of them, it would diversify our portfolio because then we could tell the new clients that we had what markets we were diving into. So that's it for today, guys. This is the customer portfolio. Understand where your profitability are, where your sales revenue is. Understand the width of each circle of what the market share is, and then create a business strategy from there and go after your clients. Talk to your clients. They want to talk to you. A supply chain, a procurement division, outsourcing, whatever. They want to talk to you because their whole point of existence is to save money. And you can save money by building longer and stronger relationships from the supplier to the client and the client to the supplier and vice versa. That's the key for these procurement and sourcing departments is to save costs and create better relationships with suppliers. All right, thanks guys.